Greetings everyone, I'm Tammy Telly and I'm glad you joined us here at Eco News for the telephone update. Reports are coming in from all over the world about the ringing everywhere. It seems that everyone is talking on the telephone 24/7. Our very own Randy Ring has the story for us. Randy?
Thanks Tammy, you are so right. The use of the telephone has skyrocketed. I have a telephone expert standing by to answer some important questions about calls, and we are going to invite our viewers to comment too. Welcome, Dr. Ellen Expert. I'm delighted you could join us today for a discussion about the importance of the telephone.
Thanks, I'm happy to be here today.
Ellen, let's start by listening to a few comments from our viewing audience about the way they use the telephone.
I attend my college class using my phone.
Hey, I use the cell to call my friends and family. And I have conference calls with my clients too.
I conduct workshops on the telephone nearly every day. I take photos with my phone when I am traveling, and upload them to Facebook. I call my grandmother on her cell phone every night.
Wow, Randy, we have all kinds of examples from your viewers. That was great.
Yes, Ellen, it is always great to hear from our audience. Now I have a few questions for you. Who do you think is involved in all of this worldwide telephone activity? Why has it become so popular?
Randy, as we heard from your viewers, pretty much everybody is talking on the phone. Kids, parents, friends, grandparents, business owners, employees, students, you name them, and I bet they are talking on the phone. The comfort level seems high for young and old.
Ellen, how many of them talk on the phone together at the same time?
Well, Randy, that is a good question. Most often the telephone is used for two people to talk to each other, but most phones have three-way calling that will allow you to easily include a third person. Sometimes a larger group of friends or a whole family may arrange to be on a call at the same time, and that is called a conference call. In the workplace, conference calls are pretty common, as we heard from your viewers. A conference call generally requires a bridge set up by a conference call host, like a telephone company, to connect all of the lines. A conference call could include thousands of people at once, all on the same call.
1,000 people at once? Really? Ellen, that sounds like it would be really loud and out of control. Why in the world would you want so many people on a call at once?
I understand your concern. Some conference calls are ones where everyone is actively talking and sharing information. They can get loud if there is not a good facilitator. But other conference calls are really mostly one-way communication, like a presentation from a trainer who includes time for questions or comments from listeners every 10 minutes or so. All of the lines can be muted and should be, so that only presenters talk until it is time for questions, and even then, questions can be taken one at a time. An operator or moderator can unmute one line at a time when a listener pushes a specific button to indicate that they wish to ask a question. Trainers need to have a quiet background without barking dogs, crying children, or ringing telephones for a quality presentation.
Ellen, it sounds complicated. Why would someone want to deliver information on a conference call?
Randy, conference calls are great because, as we were saying earlier, everyone is comfortable with the telephone, and it is a wonderful way for everyone to hear the same thing at the same time without having to spend time and gas money traveling to a meeting. It is also an economical way to have a guest speaker from another town without having to pay their expenses. If the call is short, some experts may even speak on the call for free.
Ellen, what if someone cannot make the call? Do they just miss out?
No, Randy, conference calls can be recorded by the service that provides the bridge, and they can also provide a written transcript. Of course, those extra services generally cost extra, but may be well worth it.
Ellen, won't people get bored on a conference call? I think I would.
Absolutely. People may become bored during a conference call, but people can also get bored in a class or even watching the news. Not your reports, of course. Seriously, the trainer has to be sure and use a positive, happy and smiling voice, and it is helpful if the presentation is given in very short little bursts. Handout and worksheets can be distributed in advance or put on a website for folks to download ahead of time. Then, participants can follow along with the information and be actively engaged by making lists, finding words that are explained, or working puzzles that go along with the content.
Speaking of getting bored, Ellen, let's go next to our poll.
Great idea.
We're looking for replies from 30 of you in the audience. We are using Poll Everywhere to find out in which type of conference call you have participated. You can use your cell phone, texting, or the internet to vote. Take a look at the possible answers now.
If you want want to vote by cell phone, note that this is a just standard rate text message, so it may be free for you, or whatever rate your contract charges. Your phone number is not captured by us or by Paul Everywhere. If you want to vote by internet, the answer codes are the same and you use the web address on the slide. The poll will be open until 30 of you have responded and then it will be closed.
Let's look at the questions one more time. Join us for the evening news for the results. Ellen, in addition to making a presentation, how else can conference calls be used to support training?
Some trainers and university professors use conference calls to have a rich discussion with only a few learners at a time after a presentation or after a fieldwork experience. Encouraging learners to reflect upon an experience and share their ideas and questions can be quite meaningful. I've also known trainers who use conference calls for mentoring or tutoring small groups to ensure everyone can be successful in the training.
Ellen, which type of telephone is the best for a conference call?
Now that is a hard question to answer. Types and quality of telephones seem to be ever-changing, making it difficult to identify the perfect phone for conferencing. The issue is more important for the trainer than for the listeners. Selecting the telephone for conference calls will be influenced by resources available, the physical environment of the trainer-presenter, the number of participants, and goals of the call. As a general rule, it is helpful if the primary presenter has their hands free so that they can more easily refer to notes and resources. Additionally, using a phone with a headset may keep the microphone at a consistent distance from the mouth, creating fewer voice fluctuations and picking up less room or surrounding environment noise. Headsets are available for corded phones, cordless phones, and cell phones. The quality of headsets varies, so a hands-free decision alone does not guarantee better sound. However, it's a great place to start.
That is a lot of information. Any other last tips, Ellen?
A corded telephone has less likelihood of static and interference with other phones, and you do not have to worry about the battery getting low. Static and interference from other equipment in the area may be reduced when using a cordless telephone on a 1.9 GHz, Wi-Fi friendly, digital enhanced cordless telecommunications, DECT, frequency. Again, you probably want a cordless phone on a 1.9 GHz, Wi-Fi friendly, digital enhanced cordless telecommunications, DECT, frequency.
Thanks so very much for being with us today, Ellen.
You bet. Anytime, just give me a call.
Haha, you are too funny, Ellen. Thanks again. Tammy, that's the end of our report on the ringing telephones worldwide.
Thanks, Randy. The most recent information we have received is that the dollar store has run out of earplugs, so good luck with all of those ringing phones. Join us at 6 o'clock.